Welcome to Tuesday's Tales. I'm Miss Jenny, and we're going to do a story time from the Wooddale Public Library. And of course, we always have to start with Little Mouse. So, the houses look a little better this week, don't they? No more surprises for a while, at least. Which house should we look in first? The pink house? All right, here we go. Help me say the rhyme. Little mouse, are you in the pink house? Should we knock or should we ring the doorbell? Knock? Can you help me count to 3? On a 1, on a 2, on a 3. Let's see if there's a mouse in there. Oh, nobody in the door. Should we check the back? Okay. Oh, there's little mouse. Nice. All right, we'll put him up here so he can see the stories. Which house should we look in next? The greenhouse? All right, help me say the rhyme. Little mouse, are you in the greenhouse? Should we knock or ring the doorbell? Knock again? Okay. And count to 3 on a 1, on a 2, on a 3. Let's see if there's a mouse in there. Nobody in the door. Oh, there's Miss Mouse in the back. Put her up there with her brother. And our last house is the blue house. Help me say the rhyme. Little mouse, are you in the blue house? Should we knock or ring the doorbell? Doorbell? Okay, here we go. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. And count to 3 on a 1, on a 2, on a 3. See if there's a mouse in there. There's baby sister mouse. Isn't she cute? All right, I'll put her up here with her big sister. Should we check the back anyway? All right, let's see. Oh, there is someone back there. There's baby brother mouse. Nice. Put him over here with his brother. So, the stories I have for you are little old stories. And the very first one we're going to do is a story, another string story. A story about a little old lady who was sitting on her front porch one day weaving. She was weaving up and around, in and out, and she heard a noise, a buzzing noise. Can you help me make a buzzing noise? Buzz, buzz, buzz. And she looked all around, but she couldn't see what was making the noise, so she went back to her weaving. In and out, in and out. And she heard the noise again, and it was even louder. Can you make the buzzing noise even louder? Buzz, buzz, buzz. But no matter where she looked, she couldn't see what was making that noise. So she went back to her weaving. In and out, up and around, and then the noise was as loud as you can make it. You ready? Buzz, buzz. And finally she saw it. It was a great big mosquito. It was buzzing around her head, under her chin. Oh no, everywhere. It was driving her crazy. Can you make the buzzing noise really loud? Buzz, buzz. And finally she clapped her hands and the mosquito was gone. And that's the story of the mosquito. I have a friend who said they would come and help me do this story time. But you're going to have to wait. I have to go get them to come on in. See you back in a minute. Hello, everybody. I brought Marigold in to help me with a story. Hi, everyone. How are you? I am wearing a mask because Miss Jenny and I are not 6 feet apart. You know, for the Corona pirates. The what? The Corona pirates, you know. Marigold, do you mean the coronavirus? Yeah, that one. Because we have to wear our masks because we are close. Okay. Miss Jenny said that I could give him some cookies, but he can't have all those cookies. That's way too many for a cookie monster, even though you know how he is. So Miss Jenny said he really, really likes the pink watermelon cookies to eat. Let's see, is it this one? No? Oh, you are right. This is not pink. This is brown. Okay. Is it This one? Is this one the one? No, it is orange. Oh wait, I think I found it. Look, this one is pink and it has watermelon seeds on it. This has to be the watermelon cookie, right? Okay, here we go. Here you go, Cookie Monster. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, you gotta eat the whole thing. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, he really liked that one. Good job. Okay, that's one cookie. Miss Jenny said he could have free. Which was that other one she said he liked? Oh, I remember. She said he liked the Purplicious Grape cookie. That must be this one. No? Oh, you're right. This is red. I'm so silly. Oh, I think I found it. Purplicious Grape one. Oh, that looks almost good enough to... No, this is for Cookie Monster. I will give it to him. Here you go, Cookie Monster. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, eat the whole thing. Nom, nom, nom. Watch my fingers. Nom, nom, nom. Oh, he got it, the whole thing. Okay, that's one watermelon cookie and one Purplicious Grape cookie. And, oh, I remember, she said a blueberry cookie. Blueberry blue. Let's see. No, that is green. That is not the right color. Oh, this one, the blueberry cookie. It looks delicious. Oh, no, it's for Cookie Monster. Here we go. Here you go, Cookie Monster. Oh, I got that one all by himself. That's 3 cookies for Cookie Monster. Bye, everybody. Hi. For our last story, we're going to do an old Appalachian folktale called Sodi Celeratus. One time, a long time ago, a grandma and grandpa lived out in the mountains in a little cabin with their 2 grandchildren and their pet squirrel. Now one day, their pet squirrel was up on the mantle of the fireplace and he was just kind of hanging out watching his family when Granny said, "Hey, who would like some biscuits? We could have biscuits and honey as a nice snack." And everybody thought that was a great idea. So Granny started to make biscuits and she went, "Oh no, we've run out of Sodi Celeratus. You need Sodi Celeratus so that the biscuits will rise and be nice and fluffy." So she said to the little boy, her grandson, she said, "Timmy, I need you to go to the store and get me some Sodi Celeratus." And she gave him a couple of coins and sent him off. Now, before he left, she said, "Don't forget what you're going for, because if you don't bring home some Sodi Celeratus, we won't have biscuits to eat." "Okay, Grandma," the little boy said. And to help him remember, he made up a little song. And as he went to the store, he sang, "Sodi, Sodi, Sodi Celeratus." And he hopped and skipped and ran down the road until he got to the bridge that was just before the country store. He ran right across the bridge, still singing his song, "Sodi, Sodi, Sodi Celeratus." When he got to the store, he went inside and he asked the shopkeeper to please give him a small bag of Sodi Celeratus to take back to his grandmother. And the shopkeeper filled a little brown paper sack with some Sodi Celeratus, rolled it up nice and tight, and gave it to the little boy, who gave him his money. And he went running back home, singing his song all the way, singing, "Sodi, Sodi, Sodi Celeratus." When he got to the bridge, he was about to cross it when suddenly a big bear jumped up from underneath the bridge. And he said, "I'm going to eat you up, little boy, you and your Sodi Celeratus." And he did. He ate that little boy up in one bite. Oh. Well, meanwhile, Grandma, Grandpa, and the little girl and the pet squirrel were waiting at the cabin for that Sodi Celeratus so Grandma could make them some biscuits that they could eat with some honey. But he didn't come, and they waited and waited and waited. Grandma said, "You know that boy, little Tim, he likes to play. He probably stopped somewhere and he's playing on the side of the road. He forgot all about bringing me the Sodi Celeratus. Granddaughter, can you please go and get your brother and bring him back with his Sodi Celeratus?" And little River, she said, "Yes, Grandma, I will." And she went down the road singing, "Sodi, Sodi, Sodi Celeratus." She ran right over that bridge and into the little country store, and she said, "Have you seen my brother? He was supposed to come here and get some Sodi Celeratus, but he hasn't come home yet." And the shopkeeper told her, "Well, yeah, he was here a while ago." And he did. He got a bag of Sodi Celeratus and he ran back home. I was sure he'd be there by now. He was running so fast. "Okay," she said, "maybe he stopped somewhere along the road and I didn't see him." So she went skipping out the store, skipped all the way to the bridge, and as she was about to cross over it, up came that big old bear. And he said, "I ate me up a little boy, him and his Sodi Celeratus, and I'm going to eat you up too." And he did, in one big bite. Grandma and Grandpa and the pet squirrel, meanwhile, were waiting back in the cabin. And they waited and waited and waited. Their grandson and their granddaughter did not come back with the Sodi Celeratus. "Oh," Grandma said, "Husband, you're going to have to go and find those children. They probably stopped somewhere along the way. Don't forget what you're going for, the 2 grandchildren and my bag of Sodi Celeratus." "Yep," said Grandpa, and he took off down the road. He was kind of older, so he kind of just, with his cane, just went critchity-critch, critchity-critch down the road. When he came to the bridge, he went critchity-critch, right across the bridge and into that little country store. When the shopkeeper came out, he said, "I sent my grandson for Sodi Celeratus, and he didn't come home. I sent our granddaughter to get him, and she didn't come home. Have you seen them at all?" "Oh, sure," the shop owner said. "They came a while ago. The little boy came first, and he bought and paid for some Sodi Celeratus, and he went running right out of here. The little girl came a little while later, and I told her the same thing, and she went skipping right out of here too. They should be home by now." "Ugh," Grandpa said, "maybe they stopped at the river to fish. That's what I would have done." And so he went critchity-critch, right out the store to the bridge. And he was just about to cross over it when up jumped that big old bear. And the bear said, "I done ate me a little boy this morning, him and his Sodi Celeratus. And then I ate a little girl right up too. And now I'm going to eat you up." And he did, in one little bit bigger bite. Meanwhile, Granny was at home. And she was waiting and waiting and waiting, and no one came home. Her grandson, her granddaughter, or her husband. "I bet you they stopped to fish," she said. "I'm going to go get them. I guess when you really want something done, you got to do it yourself." And she took off down the road. She had a little cane too, so she also went critchity-critch, 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 till she got to the bridge, and then critchity-critch, 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 across the bridge and into that country store. "I sent my grandson to get me some Sodi Celeratus. When he didn't come home, I sent my granddaughter, and then my husband, and none of them have come home. Have you seen any of them?" "Oh, sure," the store owner said. "Why, that little grandson of yours, he came in here as proud as he could be, and he bought himself some Sodi Celeratus. I put it in a bag for him, and he went running right out. And a little while later, your granddaughter came, asking about her brother. I told her he'd been here, so she went skipping right on out of here. Little while later, your husband came along and told him the same thing, and out he went. He did mention something about fishing at the bridge, though. Maybe that's where they are." So Granny went right back out. She hadn't seen them on the way in, but maybe they had gone down the creek a little ways to fish. So as she was walking, critchity-critch, to that bridge, she was thinking, where's the best fishing spot on this little creek? But she didn't have time to think too much about it, because she came to the bridge and up jumped that bear. And he said, "I ate a little boy, him and his Sodi Celeratus, this morning. I ate me a little girl a little while later, and I just had a gristly old man a little bit ago. But I'm still a little hungry. Plenty of room for you." And he ate Granny right up. Oh, now back at the house, the only one left was the pet squirrel. Turns out he really likes him some biscuits and honey too. So he waited and he waited and he waited, and he got a little bit worried about his people. So he went skimper, scamper, down to see if he could find where his people were. He got to the bridge and scampered right across it, got to the store, got in there, looked at that store, man, and he did know that that family had a squirrel. He said, "Are you here for your people?" And the little squirrel nodded. And the storekeeper said, "Well, they've all been here. The little boy got him some Sodi Celeratus and ran on out. The little girl came to find out where her brother was, went right out when I told her he'd already had it. Grandpa and Grandma came by themselves each a little while later, and they've all gone back home. I'm sure that's where they are. I bet you they beat you there. The squirrel knew that that had not happened, so he went looking down the road for his family. Skimper, scamper, skimper, scamper. Now, when he came to the bridge, that big old bear jumped up and said, "I done ate me a little boy this morning, him and his Sodi Celeratus. I ate a little girl a little while later, and a little old man, he was a little tough, but I ate him right up, and then I ate a grandma, a little old lady, right up too. She was even a little more gnarly than the old man, but I ate them all up. I have just enough room for a little squirrel for dessert." Well, the squirrel didn't like the sound of that, so he went scampering up a tree. That didn't bother the bear none, because bears know how to climb trees. So the bear went right up that tree right after him. The little squirrel went higher, so the bear went higher. The little squirrel saw a nice sized branch, and he ran right out on that branch. And the bear came out on that branch too. The squirrel looked back at him, and then he did a little squirrel scurry, and he ran to the end of that branch and jumped off of that branch into a branch on another tree. And the squirrel turned back at that bear, and you know how squirrels can sometimes seem like they're mocking you. He just sat there, chitter, 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 chitter. And that bear said, "Well, if you can jump from this tree to that tree, you tiny little squirrel, I'm bigger and stronger than you, and I'm sure I could do it too." So he ran along that branch and took a big jump. But he couldn't jump far enough because he was very big and he was very full. And he fell to the ground, and when he did, that grandma came popping out. Grandpa came right out of his mouth. The little girl came out. The little boy came out, and he still had his bag of Sodi Celeratus. Well, the whole family got up and ran across the bridge and back home. And sure enough, with that Sodi Celeratus, Grandma was able to make a nice big batch of biscuits. They got out their jar of honey, and everybody had one biscuit and then two biscuits. And don't think for a minute that Granny forgot that little squirrel who came and saved them all. She broke off half of a biscuit, put a little honey on it, and gave it to that squirrel, and he ate it and ate it. He stuffed some in his cheeks, and then he looked at Granny, and she gave him the other half of that biscuit with some honey on it, and he ate it and ate it. Oh, he was so happy. And he's a little tired, and he fell asleep on the mantle. And that is the story of Sodi Celeratus. Thank you for coming to Storytime today. I hope to see you again in a few days for another story time. See you then. Bye.